As today we'll be talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers and who should the Cleveland Cavaliers draft in this year's NBA draft. I want to hear your thoughts down below. If you're the Cleveland Cavaliers, who would you draft and why? So let's get right into today's video and let's talk about who they could potentially draft and why. So I want to talk about it. I do think it's an interesting position that they have put themselves here because look, the Cleveland Cavaliers, they're a good team and they had a good year. They basically almost made the playoffs. They made the play-in but lost. And currently, this is a team that I think would benefit very, very much from getting some shooting. Also, there's guard play that they could benefit from. But let's just talk about it and let's see what this team could need. And if you look at, you know, this team, you could say Karis LeVert and Colin Sexton are guys shooters, and they could potentially leave. I think if you look at the Cavaliers, are at the point in their retooling rebuild where they're focusing more on positional fit than just talent, especially after drafting the last four lottery picks based on talent. With Cleveland landing the number 14 overall pick, it can focus on position and fit here. There are a few areas that the Cavs can address: a backup point guard, a two-way wing, and a backup center. I think a two-way wing is what they should do. For me, I think the best guy that they could go right here, they should decide between AJ Griffin and Malachi Brown, because everybody needs wings, and the Cavs are no exception. Ideally, Malachi Brown becomes a two-way wing who can drain threes and help off the dribble as a secondary playmaker. And I think Brown can learn how to guard at a high level. He can bring the Cavs a different kind of skill set to add to their core. And you can never have too many wings, in my opinion. And then there's also, look, this could be a gravy pick for the Cavaliers. They can, take a swing on AJ Griffin, who he's one of the youngest players in the draft, but will also come into the league with the skill that every team needs from the wing shooting. Griffin shot 44.7% from three this past season on 4.1 attempts per game. This past season, the Cavs didn't have the best three-point shooting, so Griffin would fill an immediate role. And Griffin's only 18 and played a small role at Duke. It's possible that there's more creation ability to discover in his game. And if Griffin buys into, Bickerstaff's defensive philosophies, the Cavs could have one of the better 3-and-D wings in the draft at 14. Okay, that legitimately could be a thing. And now the other guy, I think, if Malachi Brown and my man, what did I just talk about, AJ Griffin, aren't who they want. The only other guy I could see them going for right here, Malachi Brown's cool, and I could see him going for a guy like Ousmane Deng. Deng's 6'9". And I love his defensive efforts late in the year for the New Zealand Breakers in the Australian NBL. He was terrific later in the team's campaign, averaging 13.5 points in his final 12 games while shooting 48% from the field, 36% from three. He played more under control than he did earlier in the season, when it seemed like the game was moving a million miles per hour past him. He's not a crazy athlete, but he can dribble, pass, shoot at a high level for a teenager at his size. 6'9", 18 years old with an almost 7-foot wingspan. He's at a high upside. So between Deng, Malachi Brown, and AJ Griffin, I'm going Malachi Brown just because he could just become like a 3-and-D terror. But also, if they don't go Malachi Brown, I wouldn't be surprised to go AJ Griffin. But Malachi Brown's my pick right here for the Cavs at 14. I want to hear your thoughts. Who would you guys go, okay? I mean, there's a plethora of guys. Because if you look over here, Malachi Brown, if you guys haven't been following, I think he's definitely someone who is interesting due to the fact that Malachi Brown is a guy who averaged, 17 points, 53% from the field, 43% from three over the final 22 games. He's a shot creator. And I know he's not an elite athlete, but he does a great job getting defenders off balance when attacking, getting downhill. He's got that pure mid-range shot that will clearly translate to the NBA level. And he can totally, break down guys and get separation with, a series of hesitations and crossovers and just rise up and knock down his shots. Yeah, he needs to improve his defense, but he's definitely a guy who can go in the lottery, in my opinion. But then you think about AJ Griffin, if you're an AJ Griffin fan. I mean, I love AJ Griffin as, how valuable shooting and shot making, but it's also Griffin was a poor defender last season, had a lot of games where he wasn't quite as visible as teams would like him to be for a lottery pick. But at the same time, you got to think about he's a few years removed from that injury in high school. I just think he'll be fine. But yeah, I want to hear your thoughts on below. I got him drafting Malachi Brown at 14. I feel pretty confident with that pick. But that's basically it for me, guys. I hope you guys do have a great day, because I know I will. Till next time, guys. Peace out.